Hello, it's Steve here again from the studio on Soapbox. In today's video, I want to discuss all things 1176 compressor. Without doubt, the most famous compressor probably in the world is the 1176. You'll find it in most pro studios, and it had a couple of things really going for it that people loved about it. One, it had a really fast attack time, which meant it could be used on practically anything, so it made it extremely versatile. Two, we had the all buttons in feature, which would just smash the living daylights out of something and give you brilliant effects, especially on drums, doing a New York City compression technique and things like that. And also, which isn't talked about too much, is that the 1176 had bags of character, and for a lot of engineers, you would have run the audio through the 1176 just with no compression, just to get that extra mojo that it does to audio. Mostly it affected the top end. It did something beautiful with that, which was very pleasing to most engineers and very much sought after, even just for that. So as you can see, it was a very versatile unit. Sometimes you weren't even using the compression on it at all, just getting that character injected on the audio to give a little bit of extra mojo in your mix. So on this journey for myself, where you're moving from the analog world into the box, and you're trying to get closer and closer to the real thing, if that's possible. Lots of debates, as you know, arguments all the time about analog v digital. But leaving that to the side, PSP Audio Burn, who are most famous for their vintage warmer, I would say most people would have heard of that, have brought out a PSP Fat Presser, which is an 1176 emulation with some extra features which I find are absolutely super. And when it comes to getting close to what I remember 1176 hardware unit sounding like, and the character of that unit, to my ears personally now, this is the closest thing I've ever heard. It's absolutely fantastic, and I'm loving every minute of it. At the minute, I'm using it on everything. So rather than giving you a comparison, because we all know YouTube's audio is absolutely rubbish, it sucks, and I don't want to have to make WAV files and put them up on SoundCloud or something like that for you to download and compare. You know, it's a bit too much. Most people can't be bothered. But what I am saying to you is this: don't listen to my ears and believe them. Don't listen to what I'm saying and believe what I'm saying. Download this demo for yourself. If we go onto their website here, as you can see, this is the thing for me that sets it apart from other emulations. This little bit, it's designed to provide accurate, almost instant compression with lots of character. That's the thing for me personally was missing from a lot of these other emulations. When you stuck them on, yes, it did the compression. To some degree, yes, it worked like an 1176. It reacted, some better than others, I would say. But for me personally, what was missing was, it's hard to describe, but with hardware via the plugin, it's like there's life, there's real life injected. You can feel it, you can hear it, you notice it. With a lot of plugins, you put it on and you go, yep, it's kind of doing what it should be doing, but it seems a little bit lifeless. With this compressor, to my ears personally, it really does add lots of character. And the other important part for me is the PSP Fat Compressor contains makeup, amplifier and output transformer emulations. Well, they all claim to do this, but this little bit here, to add subtle character even when set to 1:1 ratio. And that's the thing I was telling you about. An 1176 hardware unit, sometimes you just wanted to run the audio through it, no compression on it whatsoever, just to get that character from that circuit that was inside that thing, that special. So like I say, for a lot of us, 1176s are your desert island compressor. If you only had one compressor the rest of your life to do all your mixes, you'd have taken 1176 every time. So what I would say is get on here. As you can see, there's a demo. Download it, enjoy it, play with it, use it, and let me know if you feel the same way, especially if, like me, you have actually used and heard the real 1176s. This, to me personally, is the closest we're getting at the moment in anything. And price-wise, it's not too bad compared to some others. So let's go a quick overview. Here we have our attack and release. As we know, on an 1176, used to just go from 1 to 7. This is slightly different. Did take me a little while to get a grip off. Needed to read the manual. Make sure you read the manual, people. A lot of us just get stuck in and can't be bothered, but sometimes you just have to. Threshold and makeup gain, well, they're specifically 1176 and LA2As and things like that. This is why I like these compressors. Very little to get involved with, very little. Just turn up your threshold, your makeup, some attack release, set your ratios, and you're away. You know, and that's what we want, bit of speed. We don't want to be having to read massive manuals, loads of buttons and, you know, toggle switches to click on and off. And you just get caught up in trying to get the compressor to do what you want it to do. And it distracts you from getting into your mix. So the other little thing has some extra features. One most notably is a sidechain high pass filter, an inbuilt one. So say for instance, you know, you don't want that kick drum from your drum group slamming the compressor, and you prefer to just have the compression on the upper signal, the upper frequencies. You can use the sidechain, move the kick drum out of the equation, and just have it compressing the rest of it. So an excellent feature. Also, we have a stereo left-right switch, which I'll show you what I absolutely love this feature just later on. The link switch, there's a bit of ambiguity about that. I've read the manual and looked at the website, and what I took it to be was you could have two of these on a track, unlink them, and one would work separately to the other, but I'm not quite sure if that's what it does or doesn't. A bit more reading involved there. Maybe someone could shed some light as to, is that really what this is for? And lastly, we have a blend feature. When it's stroked out like this, it's inactive. When I click on it and it lights up, it's active. And we can go from full 100% compression, roll it down. We can have a 50% compression on the original signal and 50% of the untouched original audio, which is quite handy. Sometimes we just want a little compression mixed in with the original signal. So as you can see, this thing has lots of little features. It also comes with some handy presets. Remember about presets, certainly start with one, as I have here, strong bass, but then get in and do your own tweaking, because that preset, you have no idea what that signal they were working on that they set that preset for, and I can guarantee it's completely different to what you yourself are working on. So without further ado, I'll give you a few examples of how I'm using it, and well, just download it for yourself, get the demo, and let me know how you get on. So firstly, we've got a little organic track going here. Let's just play that back, let you hear what we're going to be working on.
In the back room in Tulsa, dirty deeds get done. Back room in Tulsa.
So this was all recorded live, the whole group all together in the same room. So there's lots of crossfeed of different instruments.
But a smile and a gun. That back room in Tulsa is where it.
So if I solo out our drum track, engage our compressor, turn that up a wee bit, turn the makeup up, And always remember to check that the volume level when you put a compressor on is the same as what it was originally. Because you can simply fool your ears into thinking that you've done something magical, and as we've talked about many times, that increase in volume can make you think you've done something wonderful. You really need to gain stage throughout. So I think turn that up at about 3 dB of makeup there. Yeah, that's about the same. So here I'm really slamming it 16:1 ratio and giving it the full blend here. Let's drop that blend down to halfway. You can hear the difference there. Back up to 100. It really brings out the life in that kick drum, doesn't it? Turn it off. Turn it back on. You know, with it off, that kick drum sounds good, but the minute you turn it on, it just brings it to life. So that's almost like a New York City compression thing there. We could drop our blend down, maybe to 70, thereabouts, and go for that, because we're really slamming the life out of those drums there. But it really brings things to life. There's bags of character in this compressor. So moving along, let's go. There's a double bass in this track, and let's see what it sounds like on the double bass. Here we go.
Dirty deeds get done. Back room in Tulsa.
Again, I just went for the strong bass and then tweaked it to suit.
She left me with
Let's solo it out. Let's bring the compressor on. Disengage it. Back on. As we know, bass is a very dynamic instrument and always benefits from a compressor just controlling that dynamics. And especially on a double bass where there's two microphones on this, one close up and one slightly back, there's lots of dynamics going on, and we've other instruments bleeding in from the same room. So you would have to watch that, because you know you're not only compressing the bass, but you're compressing those other instruments as well. Okay, so that's that. And to be honest, I'm using this thing on just about everything. It's an accent compressor. But one thing before I go, my favorite thing to do, as you know, if I come over here to our master bus, is to add a splitter. Let's see if I just color that in, just so we can see it a bit better. Is to add a splitter, split the channel so that we have a mono left and a mono right signal, both working independently of each other. And I love to put a compressor on those so that each is working independently. So say we have something really loud, like a tom hit in the right hand side. If you had a stereo compressor on here, it'll bring down the right hand side, but it also will affect the left side by the same amount. And that's not really natural or how the old consoles used to work. Both sides worked independently of each other. So I try to recreate that in my mixes. I prefer this type of method. It's almost the Andrew Sheps method, where he had a rear 2 bus, which was native on his Neve console. And really what it was another master bus compressor that he could send things to, and he loved the effect of that. And now he does it in the box. You'll see him, he has two 1176 compressors, which we have here. Lovely jubbly. And he has them working both independently, one on the left hand side, one on the right hand side of the audio, which we can do very easily in Studio One. I love the splitter. I love going to channel split, splitting the two signals left and right. But what we can do with this compressor is I can flick it to work on the left and the other one on the right. So what we end up with is two compressors both working independently of each other. Let's see if we can get the other one up. There we go. Both receiving their own signal. This one receiving the left hand side, this one only receiving the right hand side, and it makes for a bit more dynamics. And yes, I know there's an 8-to-1 here. This is just their master track, and I've tweaked it as well. But I've got a high pass filter at 1 kilohertz. I know you're thinking that's mental. The unlinked, because I'm not sure if these things work or not. I can't really get the grips with how this linked or unlinked works. Maybe someone could shed some light on it for us. And the blend is dropped to 75. So there's still 25% of the untouched dry signal getting through on the left and the right. So let's hear what that sounds like. Let's bring everything in. And let's turn them on. Sounds a bit dead, doesn't it? It sounds okay, but it sounds a bit dead. Bring them back on.
Don't bother getting a doctor. What we need here is a priest. Canes cutting rugs at the bottom on Main Street. Tables in a boxcar headed east.
Take them off.
Of bad luck, child. I can keep you.
Bring them back in.
Just take the broken piece of glass and carve my name into your arm. Brother.
So, as you can hear, adds bags of character, bags of life into anything. As I say, I didn't really want to get into making WAV files so that you can hear the before and the after and have to put them on SoundCloud or something like that. You know, it's not really valid. Also, you're probably not getting the full effect here through YouTube. As we know, they're squashed audio. It's not really great for this type of thing. So that's what I say. Don't trust my ears or what I'm saying. Download the demo. Use it in your mixes. Enjoy the thing. Try some of the presets and then tweak them to suit the audio that you specifically are working on. And then, you know, like me, let me know if you think this is, without doubt, the best 1176 emulation that is out there at the minute. And price-wise, can't really be beaten either. So, hopefully you'll give this a go. Hopefully you find this useful, and the more that we're trying to get closer to the real thing being in the box, and we know that plugins are pushing the boundaries all the time, manufacturers are going for it, which is fantastic for us that mix in the box, and we're getting closer and closer to the real thing. And you know, people like Andrew Sheps and others have moved completely in the box and are still getting smashing mixes and, you know, top albums. So it can be done, people, but when we come across little gems like this, it just makes things far more exciting. And I have to say, from I've been using it, you know, it's injected life and character and excitement into mixing again for me. And for as long as it lasts, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm using this compressor on absolutely everything. So download it, give it a go. Hope you found this useful, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for joining me.